There we go.
There we go. That is perfect. All right, Alistair, we good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
I'm just gonna say a quick little intro and then we'll dive straight into things. This is talkSPORT MMA, and I am here with a man who needs little introduction to fans of the sport. It's none other than Alistair Overeem, the demolition man. Alistair, you're in Bahrain right now. Tell me what you're doing there.
Well, we're in Bahrain for Brave 100. So very excited to see the fights. Very excited to eat the food, explore a little bit.
Awesome to be there. I can imagine. A fight that has a bit of British and Irish interest to talkSPORT and our audience. Mokaev versus Burns in the co-main event for the flyweight title. Can I ask you about that one? How do you see that one going? Obviously, Mokaev out of the UFC now. I spoke to him last week. He's looking to eventually make his way back in. Can I just get your thoughts on that matchup quickly?
Well, I know that everybody out of the UFC hungry to get back in the UFC is going to be a problem. So that's number one. They're going to have heightened motivation. The UFC is at a certain level. Everybody there, so even though he lost there, he's felt the real highest level. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it'll be an interesting one anyway. And I just want to get your thoughts on, some current trending subjects in the world of MMA. I don't know how much, you keep up to date with what's going on in the MMA world, in and outside of the UFC. But, recently we had a huge fight in your old division, and it was Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane at UFC 321. And it ended how it ended, a no contest in the first round. It looks like we're going to get that rematch pretty soon, which everyone wants to see now. I can imagine. Can I just ask you what are your thoughts on eye pokes first and foremost? Like, how did you kind of deal with them throughout your career?
I never really got eye poked, and I never really poked anybody in the eye. It's very unfortunate if it does happen, right? I'm sure there's no bad intention, although some people are, how I would describe it, a little bit scared in their reactions, and they kind of do this, right? And when they're doing that, and you're moving in with your face, with your forehead, it can actually touch your eyes. So I know some people, they get scared and they stretch their hands. Difficult because it is a human reaction, right? It's difficult to kind of, yeah, to fall on that, even though I think they should. Um, because if you look at the Aspinall Gane fight, I have no bias, but if you're not able to continue to fight because of a fall, it's actually disqualification.
Mm.
Shouldn't be a no contest. And it was also really a severe injury, right? We could see the finger go in like halfway. Um, so yeah, no, I'm very fortunate. I never had to deal with that. Looked very painful.
Yeah, it was knuckle deep as Aspinall described it, after the finish. And so are you in the camp that, because there seems to be two sides, the majority seem to say that Aspinall, if he can't see, he can't continue. Others saying he took the easy way out because Gam was off to a great start, which is not my own opinion, but what kind of side do you think you fall on?
Well, gone for great, and he was off to a great start. It looked really beautiful what he was doing. By no means the fight was done. It was just the first round, and yes, he was dominant in the first round, but and landed some significant strikes. But it could have gone either way, I believe, because some fighters plan for round number two, round number three, for the magic to happen. That's right. So it's to judge a fight based on one round is, I think, a little bit unfair. Also, considering Aspinall, right? We've never seen him in all his fights has been short. So what was his plan moving forward? He's a champion for a reason, I believe. Um, yeah, that's it.
Mm. And also, you had 67 professional MMA fights, 47 victories throughout your career. And so I feel like you're one of the perfect people to ask this question to, as someone who spent so long at the top of the heavyweight division. And, Tom Aspinall is one of the is arguably the leading figure in British MMA right now. I don't know if you've seen Jon Jones has come out this week and commented on Tom Aspinall, said he's a one-trick pony, his wrestling and jiu-jitsu is overrated. Can I get your personal thoughts on Tom Aspinall, what you kind of expect from his title reign and him as a fighter?
Well, we've not seen that much from Tom, right? In we've seen him finish fighters, so there's an explosiveness. He's strong. He's a good finisher, but how well does he deal with adversity? We have yet to see. We've yet to see him against Olympic style wrestlers, against the Dagestani style guys, right? So it's still a mystery. What I can say is, as a fight expert, being previous champion myself, fight enthusiast, Tom Aspinall is good. And he's, whenever I look at the champions or the fighters who are special, high level fighters, they're always doing something special, which make them that level, which makes them special. And I think Tom is definitely doing something. So he's definitely up there. Really looking forward to the Jon Jones and the Aspinall fight, which unfortunately didn't mature. But yeah, hopefully in the future we'll be able to see that.
I mean, you said it there perfectly. Jon Jones was one of the biggest names when anyone talked about Tom Aspinall recently. You said you were looking forward to that fight, Jones Aspinall, as everyone was. Everyone wanted to see that. It had to be the fight. Did you kind of sway one way or another on how you thought that might have played out?
I would have lightly went for Jones, but that being said, Jones is also getting older, right? So yeah, hopefully that fight will still happen.
Mm. And,
That
and
is the fight to make at this moment, right?
yeah, absolutely. And another word that springs to mind when you speak of Jon Jones right now is retirement. He came out and he said, well, Dana White announced in Baku back in June that, Jon Jones was retired. Tom Aspinall was officially the undisputed heavyweight champion. What were your kind of thoughts on that entire situation? Now, Jon Jones has said, and this will kind of lead on to my next question to you. Jon Jones has said that, he now wants to come back. He wants to fight Alex Pereira at the White House. What's your kind of opinion been on his moves, the way he's kind of interacted with the heavyweight division and kind of made a U-turn in his retirement decision?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. For him to want to fight a fighter that's a little bit lower in the weight class doesn't really seem logical to me. Looking for right, Aspinall's right there. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what his strategy is. Obviously, there is a strategy. Otherwise, yeah, he'd be quiet. So there is a strategy. He's coming out. Yeah, let's see and wait and see what else he'll do.
Mm.
Let's not forget Jon Jones is a master strategist, right? And it's not only Jon Jones, it's also Greg Jackson. I had the fortune of training there for 4 years. So I know that highly intelligent people, they come to win. And it's a beauty to watch, right? It's a beauty for the sport.
Mm. And also, the last time you spoke with talkSPORT, it was a couple of years ago, and you said that nothing would ever tempt you out of retirement. And now we go back to Jon Jones. The White House card has tempted him to come out of retirement. If Dana White just out of the blue came and said, Alistair, I want you in the White House card, what would your response be?
Um, Thanks, but no thanks.
Really,
I,
there would be no consideration.
no, it'd be zero because I did it for 25 years. And, the last 4 years has been a transfer out of fighting because that's not easily done as well. If you've done something for 25 years, you need to transfer out. It's going to take time. Right, and it's been a meticulous process. It's been a beautiful process. I changed as a person. I found my new goals. I made sure everything around me is good. My wife got married. My
Yes,
daughter.
congratulations.
You make sure your circle is good. You make sure you have new goals. I had to sit down. I had to sit myself down and figure everything out. And for me to then go back into the stress, training is stress and competing is high stress, wouldn't make any sense. Even though I loved my past as a fighter, I very much, look back on it. It's been one big adventure, but to go back to it wouldn't make any sense. We have beautiful new goals right now. I'm working on those goals every day, and yeah, that's it.
Mm. Another thing I've been dying to ask you about, Alistair, that again, the last time we spoke to talkSPORT, there was a big fight going on at the time. It was Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. A fight I believed in Ngannou won that fight, but he didn't. Fury got the win in the end, and I think you were very supportive of Ngannou. What's your kind of thoughts on the kind of whole not box over, the whole crossover scene at the minute? We have Ngannou being called out by the likes of Jake Paul, who's recently had a fight with Gervonta Davis cancelled. It looks like he may be fighting Nate Diaz in December now. So there's a lot of crossover boxing MMA. What are your thoughts on Ngannou and the likes of Jake Paul? Jake Paul saying to Ngannou that Ngannou's scared of boxing him. Can you give me your opinion on that?
Jake was also strategic. I wouldn't take his calling out of Francis serious. That team knows very well who they're calling out, who they're not calling out. When you look at Jake Paul's track record, with all due respect, because I have respect for him, right? He is going in the ring, he's doing it, but it's always against smaller people. So for him to kind of go up against a Francis Ngannou would be like a high risk thing. Not much to gain there, so I wouldn't think that's logical for him. Yeah, looking back at the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight, I was supportive of Francis because I like the crossover idea. I did it myself in the K1 in the kickboxing ring. I ultimately became a champion in 2010. So it's already a long time ago. We're getting old, but it's nice. You're going in a new sport. There is a challenge there. There's going to be pros and cons. Fans pro, also fans against. But I think what Francis did well was create a surprise.
Mm.
I think he was dominating that fight. I don't think he lost that fight at all. I think he was dominating. They kind of had to give it to Tyson because otherwise, yeah, there would be other repercussions. But yeah,
You said you
real,
liked
real
you said you liked the crossover scene. So what if Jake Paul came to you and said, Alistair, here's millions and millions of dollars to get in the boxing ring with me. Let's do it. Let's get it on.
No, I'm not interested in fighting more. I mean, I can still fight, and I'll train. I'm still training
You would beat him though.
in a boxing fight.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know, but I'm not interested in that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure, I'm sure when I see him, we'll grapple or we'll spar a little bit. We'll do something like that for fun. But there's no intrinsic interest of yeah going on stage again for public.
Mm. Just a couple more, and then I'll let you go, Alistair. Another very big, prominent subject right now in the MMA world. Off the back of UFC Vegas this past weekend. We saw a fight Isaac Dulgarian, first round submission loss. I'm sure you're aware of what's went on since then. Dana White's came out. He's working with the FBI. There's this big betting scandal going on at the minute. I want to ask you, what did you have anything like that during your career? Were you ever approached, about fight fixing, and how aware are you of what's been going on this week?
Actually, not aware of what's going on. So I don't know. I don't know the details. I've never been approached for fight fixing. No.
Mm-hmm. So pretty
And
much.
does that happen maybe behind the scenes? But I don't know anything about it.
Okay, you've never been approached yourself then?
No.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's a very interesting subject that kind of everyone seems to be talking about right now. Alistair, it's been a pleasure chatting to you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Bahrain. When you were talking about you'd never had an eye poke in your career, I just remembered that punch from Rosenstrike that busted open your lip. That was one of the significant moments of adversity I remember from during your UFC career.
I had a lip poke.
That was a lip poke, yeah.
Listen, we've had all kinds of scars, bruises, whatever, but never a eye poke. Yeah, never eye poke. Fortunate.
We're never going to see you back in there. Happily retired. It's a
And maybe
pleasure.
25 years. 25 years is a long time. Who else has fought 25 years and is still smiling like I'm doing?
That's true. Well, you're 45 now, aren't you? So you've still got a couple of years until you reach the age that Mike Tyson was when he fought Jake Paul. So you never know.
No. It's done. It's over. Any time with wife and kids and other cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, Alistair. I appreciate your time today and enjoy the rest of the week and the weekend.
Sound good.
Thank you so
Boost.
much.